And so the final game to begin the calendar year to round off what has been a season of delight as it has been of despair, familiarity as it has been of frostiness, and peerless excellence as it has been of incomprehensible indecisiveness. Warmest of welcomes, it is the climax of a season of mind bending trivia, masterful craftsmanship, and mystic abilities coming from the finest gathering of India's most celebrated startups, corporates, and PSUs. This is the ultimate final of the thrilling 13th season of the Udaan Business Leadership Quiz. Gratitude aplenty to the forces that join hands every year to make it possible. It's organized by Steel Authority of India Limited, National HRD Network Ranchi Chapter, and National HRD Network. And taking you through this grand gathering is me, your host and quizmaster for the day, Ajay Punia. Please join me in welcoming our 8 zonal winners who are now the national finalists looking to end this holiday season with a bang and some bucks. It is a star-studded lineup of 8 super smart players featuring 2 debutants qualifying in rather unusual manner. You'll see 3 of last year's finalists coming back again this year and 3 finalists from a couple of years ago qualifying again in a reputation restoration exercise. And as if that wasn't sumptuous collection already, we have not one but 2 past runner-ups and again not one but 2 past champions. As participant 1, a multiple-time champion with the last title in 2017 in the East Zone final, he lit many bright sparks and in the end converted them into fireworks of victory. This is Sampad Mishra from Sale Route. As participant 2, he was here in 2020 and 2021. He pressed and pressed but couldn't impress. He's back after a year's gap of sharpening his tools. This is Ravi Shankar Saha from Capgem. A rookie at this level, but going by how he slingshotted to a West Zone win after that spotty start was a thing of beauty. This is Ashish Agarwal from Sale Pillai. Next on the list is a competitor whose qualification in the national final is never short of last-minute twist, albeit this time he was on the receiving end. But the past is passé. He's now a 3-season veteran who needs to do more to be venerated. This is Rajarshi Chanda from Fujitsu. Following Rajarshi is the runner-up from last year, the accumulator of the most points across all zones, an industrious outing in defending a North Zone final. He needs to manufacture the goods that serve him the national title. He is Rohan Khanna from Barclays. Next up, no stranger to a stage such as this, runner-up in 2021 and 2020, here to rewrite the past in the present for a fabulous future. Today, he is Ayush Avasti from EY. Next up, champion in 2019, champion in 2021. The second half in the South Zone final was a procession without a purpose. So convincing was his win that he wanted to put a psychological dent in the minds of his competitors even before turning up for the final. He is Jaikantan R from TCS. And finally, a beneficiary of miscalculation on the part of his competitor. But like any top tactician knows, in the end, what matters is the result. And the final result came out in his favor. He is Rahul Jayanti from RINL. Now. The introduction was the starting prelude to what promises to be greater glories for who? For who else but the champion? But the genius minds will have to wait. For now, I would request the nucleus of Udaan that make this event possible year after year, beginning with Shri Ashish Chakrabarti, Executive Director, HRD MTI SAIL. Sir, please address our participants and viewers.
Director HR, MOIL, and West Region President, National HRD Network, Ms. Usha Singh, Quizmaster Sri Ajay Punia, Technology Provider led by Sri Animesh Matre and his team from NHRD and Ranchi chapter, and Rijuan Siddiqui from MTI. A very good evening to you all. We met during the last year and during the zonal finals. Now we are meeting in this new year for this coveted national finals. Season's greetings and New Year wishes to you all. We all are aware that Udaan is a flagship annual event of Management Training Institute SAIL Ranchi, organized in association with NHRT in Ranchi chapter. And this event is into its 13th year and is considered as one of the most coveted corporate quizzing events of our country. We are really proud of this platform. This year, we had participants of 238 executives from the leading corporates like IOCL, BPSCL, NLCIL, RINL, SBI, TCS, SDFC, Fujitsu, Capgemini, EY, Barclays, etc. And including the sizable nominations from the SAIL plants and units. The prelims were conducted on 10th and 12th December 2023 and zonal finals held during 21st December to 29th December 23. As you all know, business quizzing is a powerful and engaging platform for learning and development, and business quiz enables professionals in different functions in an organization to learn about the business environment and share their knowledge from time to time for new business ideas and organizational development. I really congratulate all the national finalists for their wonderful performance in this zonal round. And dear friends, wish you all the best for today's class of talents. So that's all from my side. So best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would now request Ms. Usha Singh, Director HR, MOIL, and Regional President, West of National HRD Network. Ma'am, please, the stage is all yours.
Mr. Ashish Chakrabarti, Executive Director, MTI, Mr. Ashish Punia, and all my NHRD colleagues, all my young friends, ladies and gentlemen, all of you who have gathered here on this Sunday evening for this mega final, what we are about to see. So extremely happy that NHRD and Ranchi chapter is hosting this 13th Business Leadership Quiz. And the teams, just now, Mr. Chakravarti mentioned that 238 participants had participated in this, and the finalists are all here. Huge congratulations for all the effort for this journey till now. And certainly best of luck as you go ahead. So, at the outset, I must mention that it's a very special relationship which I have for SAIL and for NHRD and Ranchi. So Ranchi being my native place, SAIL where I have spent 25 years of my career. And I'm so happy that MTI Ranchi has collaborated for such a flagship event. And, that gives, and that is the reason why all public sector, private sector, all companies across the spectrum have participants, have come together. So it's always nice to see such kind of confluence. And as the Western Region NHRD president, I wouldn't have been more happy to see such a event. And when you talk of quiz, the very name, the very concept of quiz is something like, it makes you sit up. It's like the rush of adrenaline rushing in your whole system. It is energy, it's positive energy. So, I think it's not only something which is done, or an event which is done for a day or a month or so. It is something like a way of life. What it teaches you, it is a continuous journey of learning. It is just not about knowledge. It's also about the thirst for knowledge. It's both a team and individual competition, but I think that here we have only individuals who are participating. All this, we all know I see it as it's preparing you for life. The way sports prepares us for life, I think quiz competitions prepares us for life. Something, it's a lot of hard work, it's dedication, it's discipline, it's mental strength, it's belief in yourself. So, and just like any other sport, I would say that you can never be fully prepared for a quiz competition, but you can always give it your best shot. So at the end, again, I will say huge congratulations to all the participants who have made it this far. You very well know that success is not guaranteed, but the experience is always worth it. Every question is an opportunity to shine and prove your worth. So let's create memories. It's a test of knowledge, but also composure. Stay calm and think before you answer. All the best to all the participants. And really, Mr. Punya, I was so glad to hear you also the first time for me. So your voice is also something, you are adding so much of energy to the whole exercise. So best of luck to you and best of luck to all the participants. Look forward to this event becoming, as it has already taken roots, so strong roots, and certainly it's going to go from strength to strength and make NHRD also more, have deeper roots amongst the youngsters, the professionals who would look forward to gaining more and more knowledge in their journey for in the journey of quizzing. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so very much, ma'am. Thank you so very much, sir, for helping let the eternal flame of Udaan burning. Right, then, participants, apart from poems full of praises that will be written in your honor today, there's some flattering fortune that lies on the other side of your win. Your name, firstly, will be penned under the last year's champion, that's Preetham Upadhyaya from Barclays. His name in the Udaan Honors Board, and to make your Sunday a fun day, a prize of rupees 50,000 for the winner, and first runner-up wins a prize of rupees 35,000. There's big prizes to be won. The stage is set, and we're all set. Right then, gents, this panel is in all readiness to begin with 5 rounds of action. It's going to demand initiative and inventiveness. So keep distractions at bay if you don't want to be all at sea. Here's round number 1. It's called anagrams. So if you Google the word anagram, the first thing that you get as a result is what is something that's called, did you mean anagram? So even if you spell the word anagram correctly, Google gives you an anagram of anagram. So inspired by that is this round. It's called nagrams, and nagrams is an anagram of anagram. And so in this round, you'll have to solve anagrams. There are going to be 5 sets of 3 questions or 3 answers or 3 anagrams each. Hit the buzzer and give me the answer to any 1, 2, or 3. But before you start answering, you have to tell me whether you're giving me 1 answer, 2 answers, or all 3 answers. And once when you start answering, you have to tell me which of the 3 answers you're giving. I've masked the answers as X, Y, and Z. So tell me that you're answering X first, or Z first, or Y first. That decision is entirely yours. You can hit the buzzer on any 1 of the 3 answers also, or 2, or all 3, which is the full set. For every answer that you give me, I'll give you 5 points if you're right, or -5 if you're incorrect. But I won't declare the answer immediately. I'll declare the answer right at the very end, once when I have somebody giving me the entire set, or if the time is exhausted, whichever is earlier. If one player gives me a full set, that player gets the entire 20. That player gets 5 plus 5 plus 5 and a bonus 5. So you get 20 points for giving me the entire set. But if you give me a wrong answer, there's going to be a minus 5. For individual answers, 5 points, right? And very importantly, if your answer has already been given by a previous participant, you can just repeat the same answer if you think that's correct, or you can just say pass. But if you give me a unique answer, then in that case, you'll have to tell me which of the remaining, if there are 2 remaining answers, then you have to tell me which of the 2 remaining answers you're giving, and then you can go ahead and give that. All right, so 5 sets coming. We're all ready to begin. Here's set number 1. And even before that, remember, the moment you hit the buzzer and I ask you to unmute and give the answer, please unmute and answer. Don't start reading and figuring out once when I've already taken your name. The only action that you should do after I've taken your name to unmute is to unmute and then give the answer. All right. If you take too much time, then I'll be left with no choice but to give you a negative. Let's start. Here's question number 1. X, Y, and Z. All anagrams of each other. You can figure out one, and then you can give me the answer for even one of them. But before that, you have to tell me which of the 3 answers you're giving. The time is up. Unfortunately, that's not what the doctor ordered. I didn't think that the fact that I'll give anagrams, I thought all the anagrams would be lapped up in one go. Unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. Nobody's decided to hit the buzzer. Perhaps it's the nerves of being in the final. But the answers that I was looking for, let me break it down one by one. Let's start with X. So in X, you see Zev Siegel of Starbucks, Jack Ma of Alibaba, Steve Woz of Apple, Jim Collins, the author, Baiju Ravindran of Byju's. What's common to all of them is that they are all teachers who went on to start companies or are known for various reasons. Then let's move on to Y. So the first one is a wind cheater. The second one, what that actor is wearing is an over-the-counter reading glasses, which are also called cheaters. And a cheater valve is an air admittance valve. So that was cheater. That's an anagram of teacher. And finally, it says a lifetime told in 10,000 square meters, which is a hectare. Right, so hectare, cheater, and teacher, those were the 3 answers that I was looking for. Unfortunately, nobody went for it. Perhaps a bit of nerves to begin the final. Hopefully, we'll settle down now as we move on to question number 2. Also, please remember, because it's just the spelling variation. So sometimes if I'm not too clear about your pronunciation, I may ask you to spell the word correctly or just give me the spelling. Right, if you spell it incorrectly, then obviously you're getting negative. So you have to get the spellings right. If I'm not too clear with your pronunciation, I might ask for spellings. Let's move on to question number 2. X and Y, and one of the youngest in Fortune 500, Z came back from the dead to give a 1100% year-to-date return in 2023. On the buzzer is Ashish. Yes, Ashish. Which one are you answering? You're not answering anything, Ashish. You're muted.
I'm answering.
Yeah.
So
Which
I'll
one?
answer X. X is Caravan by
Can
Sarigama.
you spell it?
Caravan, Caravan.
All right. I'll move on to Rahul, who's next on the buzzer.
Oh, I had X only. I pass.
Okay. I'll move on to Ravi, who follows you on the buzzer.
I have X also, but the spelling, okay, Ashish has given is wrong. Okay, it will be Carvan, Carvan.
Which one are you answering?
X.
Say that again.
Carvan, Carvan, Carvan. It's not Caravan, it is Carvan.
Okay. I'll move on to Ayush.
I had only X.
Okay. I'll move on to Jaikantan.
I'll try for all 3.
Go for it.
Carvan is the first one, Carvan.
Okay.
And second one is Caravan.
Spell
And third
it.
one is Caravan, Caravan, Caravan,
Okay.
like the magazine. And third one is Carvana,
Spell it.
Carvan.
That is correct. That's the entire set that I was looking for, which means, Ashish, you got the pronunciation correct, but you missed out on the spelling. As a result, I'll have to give you a negative for that. So that's a -5 to Ashish. You spelled the incorrect one. You spelled Y. but not X, right? So X is Carvan, so which is Carvan, which is exactly what Ravi did. So well done, Ravi. That's 5 points to you. And the remaining two answers, Carvana and I think, yeah, Caravan. Those were the two
Ajay, I
answers
thought
that were there.
Ravi said CAAR
VAN hit. CARVAN.
So
Correct,
Ravi was
correct.
right.
No, Ravi wasn't. He had only 6 letters.
6 letters.
Correct.
Hey, I said VAAN.
No, you
No,
didn't say
he's-
it because you
Which is
said I was
VAN.
exactly listening to that.
CARVAN.
Yeah, he said VAAN.
Oh,
He didn't
No,
say the VAAN. No.
Ajay, even I think he said one
Yeah.
singly.
Single
Yeah.
A.
Okay, let's try and close it here. Ravi, are you countering it? We can check it on YouTube. So, Ravi, if you're okay with that, we'll move on.
Fine, move on.
Okay, so you are. All right, fine. I thought Ravi said AAN. So perhaps what is needed here is for you to say AA as opposed to AA, because then it becomes perhaps single syllable. And I made that mistake once in a previous zone around. I'd rather not make it this time. Which means both Ravi as well as Ashish, both of you get a negative. So that's a -5 to both of you. And Jaikantan, for giving the entire set correctly, that's a +20. All right, so that's 20 points to Jaikantan, 5 points to Ravi, -5 to Ravi, and a -5 to Ashish. Okay, my apologies. So now my request to all the participants is, just to be very clear with your pronunciation of syllables. This is exactly why I had to ask for spellings, and even in that, I need a little more clarity of how you answer. All right, so that's 20 points to Jaikantan, -5 Ravi, -5 Ashish. We'll move on to question number 3. The animal in X's logo goes back to its roots, the national color and the national animal. It also represents their rich history, with several of X's founding companies featuring the animal in their logos. Then you see a visual in Y, which you have to tell me what it is about. Then Z is a video game news and review website celebrating 10 years in India these days. On the buzzer is Sampad. Sampad, which ones are you answering?
This is IGN, the game review
Which one
site.
are you answering, Sampad?
This one, Z.
Okay, you're answering Z. And your answer is?
IGN.
All right. That's
game
the
review
only
site.
answer that I've received. There's nobody else after you. So that brings us to the end of this question. Sampad said IGN. That is correct. So that's 5 points to Sampad. It is IGN, the video game news and review website. The others, and I'm sure now it's easier to work out. So that's GNI. That's the sum of GDP plus exports minus imports. And the animal in ING's logo, which is the lion, that's orange, right? So that's the Dutch who use the color, the House of Orange. And so that's why even the earlier banks that sort of merged with each other and became ING, they also use the lion in their logos. So that's ING, GNI, and IGN. That gets Sampad 5 points. We'll move on to question number 4. Here's question number 4. So Y, as the origin of Y is unclear, circumstantial evidence suggests Y originated in the British computing market with the software WordCraft. Z is common to a paid relief by Genera Healthcare, and these two in picture. And X is a common connect between the three visuals. Still waiting for somebody to work out any of these. Sampad's gone for it, right? Sampad, which of the three are you answering? Which ones?
X.
X, all right.
Golden rules.
Is correct. That's well done. That's 5 points. So these are the 3 golden rules of accounting: the saving rule and the golden rule, which is the Solos model. And then, of course, JC Penney's mother store. JC Penney originally was started out from the store called Golden Rule Store. And that was the mother store of JC Penney, which is what you see here in Wyoming. The middle one is, I'm sure by now you've all figured out, is a dongle. And finally, that's the Chief Entertainment Officer, the chairman of, sorry, not Chief Entertainment Officer, that's the chairman of Viacom Entertainment, Jonathan Dolgen, who passed away a couple of months ago. Dolgen also happens to be a subsidiary of the Dollar General Store, and there is a pain relief medicine. It's also called Dolgen. So Golden, Dongle, and Dolgen. Those were the three answers. Just Sampath collecting 5 points on that one. Nobody else taking any interest. And we move on to our final question for round number 1. Here's question number 5. In the 1880s, appearing in a print ad for X, she became the first celeb to endorse the brand. And on the buzzer, we already have Jaikantan. Jaikantan, which of these answers are you giving?
I'll try X and Z.
X and Z. All right.
Yeah. X is pears. Pear, the soap. Z is spare.
Z is?
Spare, like spare part. Spare.
All right. I'll move on to Ayush. Ayush, what do you have to say?
I'll try Y. So for X and Y is the same, pears and spare. For Y, I'll say reaps, REAPS.
All right. I'll move on to Rohan.
I had X and Z only.
Okay. I'll move on to Ravi.
Same, I also have X and Z.
Okay. To Ashish.
Only X. I had only X.
And finally to Rahul.
Yeah, I passed.
All right, so that means nobody's really given me any answer except Jaikantan and Ayush. Jaikantan says pears and spare, those were correct. And the magazine for ultra high net individuals was spares and spears and not reaps that Ayush said. So that's a -5 Ayush, +10 Jaikantan. And that's the end of round number 1. We've seen some action, bringing an end to round number 1. Unfortunately, not all the answers were given in round number 1. Now just slowly settling in for everyone. Not like we weren't expecting any, but it was intense as it was serene. Remember that description, as I will recall when we enter round 2, which is right about now. This round is called semi-super over. We played super over in the zoners. This time I've shrunk it into half. We played 3 questions only, so it's going to be short, it's going to be fast, it's going to be quick. There are going to be 15 seconds per question. Each question has 2 answers with the last few letters of the first answer, which I will call as X, being the first few letters of the other answer, which I will call as Y. Points if you're playing super, which means you're giving both answers. That's for 15 points, +10 and +5. You play super, get 1 right, 1 wrong, +10, -5. You play super, get both wrong, -5 and -5, makes that a -10 for you. And if you're playing safe, which means you're giving any one answer, or you have forgotten to play super, in that case, you get it right, you get 10, you get it wrong, you get a -5. And the second answer, if there's any that's left for anybody else to take, will answer for +5 and -5. All of you are allowed to hit the buzzer and give the answer on each of these questions, provided the questions are still alive. So we'll start. First of 3 questions coming. Here's question number 1. A couple of visuals. Actually, one set of visuals and another set of visuals. And here's my question. Connect the 2 words, 2 and 5. On the right, these are special kind of stamps that look like stamps and are designed as ones. They're never pushed out for public consumption and are thus named Y after the character who was treated in an inferior manner by her own family members. That's for 10 letters. On the buzzer is Sampath. Sampath, super or safe?
I will play safe.
X or Y?
X.
X is?
Da Vinci.
That is correct. That's 10 points, Sampath. I move on to Jaikantan. Jaikantan, do you have Y?
Yeah, this is Cinderella.
Cinderella, absolutely. That is correct. So that's Da Vinci and Cinderella stamps. That's 10 points to Sampath. Very well answered. And 5 points to Jaikantan, who picked whatever was left for him. And as a result, gets 5 points against his name. That's very good, both of you. So 10 and 5. 10 to Sampath, 5 to Jaikantan. Slowly we're getting answers out of you. That's nice to see. That was the original intention. Right, here's question number 2. This is the first X, 5 letters. And then on the right, on the left is the dean, and on the right is the Syrian Saudi Canadian businessman who lends its name to the business school at the University of Y. On the buzzer is Sampath. Sampath, super or safe?
First one is Xerox. First print of
Okay.
Xerox.
I'll move on to the next one. That's Rajarshi.
Yeah, so the first one is, of course, Xerox, and the second one is Oxford. That's the
That
Syed Business
is
School.
correct. Absolutely. This is Xerox and Oxford. That's the first Xerox by Chester Carlson. And the one on the right, the Saudi Canadian, Syrian Saudi Canadian businessman who I was speaking of was Wafik Rida Syed, after whom the Syed Business School in the University of Oxford is named. And the dean was Soumitra Datta. That's 10 points to Sampath and 5 points to Rajarshi. So I'm guessing Sampath in this case forgot to say safe, but that's okay, which means we'll play default, right? So Sampath, if you're playing safe, you can say safe, but if you forget to say it, I will consider it, default to be safe. All right. Final question for round number 2. Here's question number 3. This book begins in AF 632 or AD 2540, the timeline beginning from the birth of X. And on the right is just a connect. On the buzzer is Rajarshi. Rajarshi, super or safe? Rajarshi?
Yeah, I'll go for Y.
Okay.
I'll say Jonga, Jonga.
Okay. I'll move on to Jayakantan.
I'll try X for Ford Model T.
Okay. I'll move on to Ravi.
I also has X.
Okay. I'll move on to Ayush.
I also had X.
All right. And that's it. Sampath, you were too late on the buzzer, so I don't count it. And that's the end. So in this case, we had Rajarshi going first. Rajarshi said Jonga, but unfortunately, Rajarshi, that is incorrect. So that's a -5 for that for you. Then we went to Jayakantan. Jayakantan said Ford Model T. That is correct. And nobody else said anything else after. So which means Jayakantan gets 10 points on that one. And the other one, the common connection. So that's the Delta Mini Cruiser. That's Delta Corp that owns a bunch of casinos in Goa as well as Sikkim. And that's Visa Delta. That was what Visa Debit was called before it was rebranded to Visa Debit. Perhaps that was the older name of Visa Debit. So it's this Ford Model T that is in 1908 and AF 632, which was after Ford Model T, is what that's where the book begins with its Fordism and everything else. That's the end with 10 points to Jayakantan on that last question. Brings a quick end to a very short round. The semi-super over alongside a -5 to Rajarshi on that last question. So quick as lightning, quick as flash, that sums up the semi-super over. Some clumsy negatives taking away the sting of right answers, but a summary of which we shall see when the scoreboard lights up on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
The forefront of nation building. Steel Authority of India Limited, an organization that tests your mettle at every step. An employer that challenges you each and every day, surprises you each moment and teaches you something in every passing moment. A behemoth with a turnover of more than rupees 1 lakh crore, SAIL is a leader in the Indian steel industry, having a pan-India presence. Projects that had earlier remained unimaginable have been made possible with SAIL Steel. Be it steel for the Statue of Unity or the thousands of kilometers of rail tracks connecting the country, the formidable INS Vikrant or the longest bridge in the country, Dola Sadia. We are known to have the best technical and managerial talent in the country. Men and women who are always ready to take on the different challenging assignments that they encounter with dedication and passion. SAIL's engineers in disciplines like mechanical, electrical, metallurgical, chemical, electronics, computer, IT, mining, etc. redefine steel making each day. The limits of technical knowledge and acumen of new recruits are tested time and again. Needless to say that the talent at SAIL always shines through. Every unit in SAIL is like a huge factory in itself. With captive power plants, foundries, and huge shops, the giant scale of which is totally unimaginable. Many do not know that SAIL is also the largest iron ore miner among steel producing companies operating mining units spread across mineral-rich states of the country. Many would not even know that the quantity of the various byproducts generated at SAIL plants is so humongous that they are used as input materials in different chemical and fertilizer industries. The enterprise resource management projects such as SAP have been implemented in the company across its units, which has modernized and revolutionized the company's operations. These and similar systemic improvements are slowly leading us to the vision of Industry 4.0. SAIL handles what could be a logistics nightmare for others with effortless ease, right from getting coal from Australia to supplying steel products to almost every district of the country. SAIL does this with smile and the contentment of contributing to the nation's growth. Steel Authority of India Limited. There is a little bit of SAIL in everybody's life.
Welcome back. 2 rounds in, the players have certainly given themselves the priceless early advantage that's good for their own confidence and causing dents in the minds of others. At this early stage, we have Jaikantan at 45 and Sampath at 30, the champions of 2021 and 2017 respectively, driving with intent, leaving others to repent. Others did what they could. Ravi, unfortunately, at -5. Ashish, for now, is also in negatives at -5. And so is Ayush, who's also on -5. But still to open their account are Rajarshi, Rohan, and Rahul, all 3 of them at 0 points apiece. All of them need to take more risks to reap more rewards. Otherwise, the wise others will take the title. The otherwise wise others is a tribute to the next round, which is the favorite pastime activity for many of us. I'm guessing a lot of you know this already, but just as a matter of fact, for those who don't, when it was created, the game crossword was originally called word cross, right? Our round number 3 is exactly that. It's a crossword. 5 questions, all on the buzzer in a crossword, 15 seconds, 3 buzzers per question. Out of the 8 of you, only 3 of you would be allowed to hit the buzzer in this segment of round 3 and round 4. Each buzzer will be for 10 points if you write, -5 if you are incorrect. Right? We'll start with showing you what the crossword is. This is the crossword. We'll go in order. We'll start with 1 down. It's a 8-letter answer. Here's my question. Countries like Bermuda, Eastern Caribbean states, Switzerland, and Venezuela have their banknotes with a design feature different from others. Sri Lanka and Hong Kong have this feature on only one side, while Canada and Northern Ireland introduced it on a few of their banknotes. What design feature that can be seen in the last 6 International Banknote Society Banknote of the Year winners? On the buzzer is Rohan.
I'll say these are vertical notes. Vertical.
Is correct. Absolutely. These are all notes with vertical orientation. That's lovely answer there, Rohan, marking your presence on the scoreboard with a 10-pointer. And this is what you see in the visual is one of the nominees for this year's IBNS Banknote Awards. Very interesting. There is Vivian Richards in it. It's an Eastern Caribbean Central Bank note. So all of the countries that I mentioned, in fact, even for Sri Lanka, one side is horizontal, the other side is vertically oriented. And there are various reasons given for it that you generally handle notes vertically. You don't really handle them, or you can insert them in ATMs and all of that mostly vertically. But you know, it's just how you want to print it. There's no clear science behind either way. You can just justify your argument in retrospect. That's 10 points to Rohan. It is indeed a vertical orientation. We'll move on to placing vertical in the crossword and go to 2 down. So 6-letter answer. Here's my question. Let's connect these master brands. On the buzzer is Rajarshi.
Yeah, I will say Myntra. MYNTRA. Yeah. Roadster is a brand of Myntra.
These are all brands by
Brands of
Myntra.
Myntra. Same
Just
with
like
Dressberry here
Roadster
and
is, so
now.
is
Also
HRX,
Pagodi.
Anu, Coke, Keach, Marston, Harbour, all of them are all private label brands by Myntra, and internally within the organization, they call them master brands as opposed to private label brands. That's well done, Rajarshi. Gets you back on the scoreboard. You were there for a little while till you lost the plot, and then you're back again with 10 points. That's 10 points to Rajarshi. That's very good. We'll move on to placing Myntra. Now we go to 3 across. There's an R and an N. Here's my question. By what two-word name do we know this gathering on the right and that took place in this room on the left? On the buzzer is Rajarshi again.
Yeah, this is the Bretton Woods Conference.
What came out as an outcome of Bretton Woods? What was
I'm
the
sorry?
outcome of Bretton Woods?
The World Bank.
Yeah, that is correct. There's World Bank. There's the IMF also. So it is
IMF
called the
as well, yeah.
Bretton Woods Bretton Woods Conference. That's how it is known. But officially, it was called the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference, led to the creation of International Monetary Fund and IBRD, which was repriced into World Bank. That's well done, Rajarshi. Back-to-back answers from you. Another 10-pointer. That's very good. We'll move on to placing Bretton Woods and going to O down. In Bretton Woods, you see O. We'll play O down. It's a 6-letter answer. Here's my question. On the left is a municipality in a Para, Brazil. It is located at the narrowest and the swiftest part of a certain entity. This town, owing to these geographical features, lent its name to a company's first page rendering engine that was phased out in August 2006. However, the Seattle building right of the company still retains the name. Which town or what is the name of this building? Sampath.
Is it Ubidas in Seattle? Ubidas.
Is correct. Absolutely. It is indeed Obidos. That's very well done. That was the name of the original page rendering engine for Amazon. That's something that they've retired in 2006, but this is a building in Seattle. That was the clue for Amazon. And it was one end of Amazon right at the very start. So that was the first page of when you typed amazon.com on your URL. That's well done. Sampath gets you 10 points added to your score. Now for the final question for this round, but before that, we'll see it on the score. We'll see it on the crossword. It's 5 across. Second letter is I. Here's my question. It's a connect. Still waiting for somebody to put their minds to work. The time is up. There's nobody on the buzzer. The answer that I was looking for, let me take the liberty of explaining and then eventually giving the answer. The first one is a building, a spy hub by NSA in New York. It's like a bunker above the ground without any windows and gates or anything like that. It was originally AT&T's Long Lines building. The image on the bottom right is Stockton Rush, who we unfortunately heard about sometime in the middle of last year because of a certain submersible that he built that was imploded. And on the top right is Drive.ai. That was an autonomous vehicle company that was bought by Apple in 2019 to run its electric car project called the Titan. Right, so the connection was Titan. Titan is what I was looking for. That brings us to the end of round number 3. Unfortunately, nobody answering on that last question. But the good part is these 4 of the 5 answers were given. So we maintain that level of high answering ability, consistency, triumphing on this Titanic tussle. They look sharp and are acting swift on the buzzer as they should for the opening whistle to the. This is the opening whistle to the penultimate round. In the next round, on the loose will be some clues, and it's called Clues Day. There are 5 questions, all on the buzzer. Solve the overall answer first on the buzzer, followed by each part. 3 of you will be allowed to hit the buzzer and answer, and there's 30 seconds that I'll give you to solve them. I hope you have your pen and papers ready. You'll have to put them to work to be able to work it out. First, you'll have to give me the overall answer. Don't start solving the part answers unless I've confirmed that your overall answer is correct. The part answers are just, add-on bonuses, 1 point each, just in case we don't have any ties towards the very end. I expect it to be a close competition as it is still now. We have answers coming from all corners. That's very good. Keep the momentum. It's good for yourself. All right. So if you're all set, there are 5 questions coming, 30 seconds of time. You'll see the number of letters in a bit of a clue that I'll give. It won't be a very straightforward clue, identify the person. It won't be like that. There'll be, some bit of wordplay, self-proclaimed clever wordplay. So you'll have to try and work it out. And if you don't want to care about what the question is asking, then you can just solve from each individual parts. All right, so we're all set to begin. Here is question number 1 for the penultimate round on your screen now. Says SGX and Nifty's 50-50 JV. Who's gone for it? Ashish has gone for it.
This is GIFT, GIFT.
That is correct. You want to break it down for me?
The last one is Air Alliance, the Star Alliance, STAR. So ST. So GIFT.
Okay, that's correct.
This is
anything else, Ashish?
This is Burger King, the first one, I suppose.
That is correct.
This is CEO of Infosys again. Sibu, J Sibulal. Sibu, I think.
Which one are you answering? Second one or the third one?
Second.
Okay.
Sibulal.
And the third one?
Third one, I don't have no idea.
All right. So you missed out on the second one. That's not what it was, but you got the first and the fourth one, which means on top of the 10, you get a +2. So that's 12 points to Ashish. That's well done. Back into positive ways. That's very good. It is indeed GIFT. What was earlier the SGX Nifty is now GIFT Nifty. And that was Burger King. Vijay Bhatkar, who created India's first supercomputer, now the Chancellor of Nalanda University. And that is Batista Pininfarina, of the automobile brand, now a subsidiary of Mahindra. And you identified Star Alliance well. That's well done. So 2 answers along with the overall answer gets Ashish 12 points. Let's move on to question number 2. So the first one was answered very quickly. That's interesting. Let's see how the second one picks up. Here's number 2. A Greek athlete in a beverage cup. On the buzzer is Jaykantan. Jaykantan, what's your overall answer?
Mine is Milo, M-I-L-O.
That is correct. That's 10 points, Jaykantan. You want to break it down for me?
So second one is Copilot.
That is correct.
The fourth one is Onida.
Fourth one is?
Onida debit.
That is correct. Anything else?
No, I can.
No. Okay. So just 2 answers there alongside the overall answer. That's well done, Jaykantan. Gets you 12 points again. The first one the 2 that you missed out on. The first one was NNPC, and the third one was the wife of Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, Rekha Jhunjhunwala. Right, Copilot and Onida. Copilot is a button that the AI button that they've recently initiated Windows on a keyboard. So that's what it was about. That's well done, Jaykantan. 10 and 2 gets you 12 points. Good. So both the first 2 questions lapped up immediately. Didn't need the 30 seconds. Let's move on to number 3. A logo makeover on Foundation Day. Who's gone for it? Ashish. Yes, Ashish. Ashish, you're muted.
Rush of blood out.
No answer. All right, that's a -5. I move on to Ayush.
I'll say SEBI.
Say that again, please.
SEBI, S-E-B-I.
That is correct. You want to break it down for me, Ayush? None of the 4?
I just know that they had a makeover.
Ayush, you have to be a little louder, please.
I just know that they changed their logo on the foundation.
Okay, so you can't break it down. So we'll close it. So that means that's 10 points to Ayush. Well done on at least getting the overall answer. Couldn't collect the bonuses though. The first one is a fountain that you actually see on the logo of the brand also. It's Schweppes. The second one, you could have either answered Electra, which is the name of the plane, or Amelia Earhart, who used this plane to, she wanted to circumnavigate the globe, but unfortunately was lost. It was this plane. So you could have answered either one. Both would have fitted. The third one is breaking the bamboo ceiling. How Asians find it some kind of casual racism. within workspaces. And the last one, the
Manila.
only United States Mint outside of the American continent is in Manila, right? So those were the 4 answers, but you did the hard part, missed out on the easy part, gets you 10 points. That's well done, Ayush, but a -5 by his own admission, a rush of blood to Ashish. -5 Ashish plus 10 Ayush. We'll move on to the next one. Here's number 4. COVID connectors, pandemic stock bubble. On the buzzer is Ashish again.
This is
No answer, Ashish?
no answer.
No, I'll have to give you a negative. I'll move on to Rahul. Rahul?
No.
No answer. I'll have to give you a negative. Moving on to Ayush.
I'll say Zoom.
You'll say?
Zoom.
That is correct. It is indeed Zoom, kind of a meta question. But Ayush, you can give me the breakdown.
I'll guess is the first one Zone? Z-U-N-E.
The first one is?
Z-U-N-E, Zone.
Okay.
Uh,
That's wrong, by the way, but we can move on.
I just got from the hint.
Again, solving it from the question, is it?
Yeah.
And not quite from the individual elements. So I'll close it for you.
Ajay,
That's another 10 points.
can I go for this for no points?
Hold on. Let me just distribute points. Rajarshi, I'll give you your moment of fame. Just give me a moment. So that's 10 points to Ayush, -5 to Rahul, -5 to Ayush. Sorry, Ashish. 10. I repeat. 10 points Ayush, -5 Ashish, -5 Rahul. Rajarshi, go for it.
Yeah, the first one is AstraZeneca.
That's right.
The second one is National. It used to
That
be
is
called
correct.
National and then Panasonic. The third one is Union Carbide.
That is correct.
And the fourth one, I am not able to figure out.
Fourth one is India's first RBI Governor, C.D. Deshmukh. Right? So those were the 4 answers that I was looking for. No points to Rajarshi, just -5 to Ashish, -5 to Rahul, and a +10 to Ayush. Now for the final question of this round, of the penultimate round. The peacock that competes with fox. On the buzzer is Rohan.
I'll say CNBC.
That is correct. Indeed, that's the peacock. Now break it down for me, Rohan.
The second one I'll say is Mensa.
That's right.
The first I'll say is a credit card.
That's correct.
The third one is
Quick.
Beep.
No. Fourth one?
No.
No. So 2 answers on top of the overall answer. So that's 12 points to Rohan. Rajarshi, you want to take it or should I close it?
No, please close it.
that
I knew the first and
All
second
right, that's all right. So we'll close it. The answer that I was looking for is, of course, indeed CNBC. That's the peacock that you see in their logo. That's credit card, Mensa, both identified by Rohan, and thus he collected the 2 points. Why credit card? Because that was the first description of the use of credit card for purchases anywhere that we ever saw in the world. So it was a book. Then Mensa International, Big Kahuna Burger, a chain of restaurants which is fictional that generally appears in Quentin Tarantino's works, and FICO, or the 2 founders of the FICO score, Bill Fair and Earl Isaac. Right, so that's the final answer. That's 12 points to Rohan, and with that we zoom past the penultimate round as well. The deal in the national final is you have to suffer the ordeal well of agony of missing out on some easy ones, which I thought with Zoom were certain easy ones that could have been answered, and of the trials of every round that I've offered. To make the anxiety in the room more tangible, we'll check the scoreboard, but that's on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
SAIL, at the forefront of nation building. Steel Authority of India Limited, an organization that tests your mettle at every step. An employer that challenges you each and every day, surprises you each moment, and teaches you something in every passing moment. A behemoth with a turnover of more than rupees 1 lakh crore, SAIL is a leader in the Indian steel industry, having a pan-India presence. Projects that had earlier remained unimaginable have been made possible with SAIL Steel. be it steel for the Statue of Unity or the thousands of kilometers of rail tracks connecting the country, the formidable INS Vikrant or the longest bridge in the country, Dola Sadia. We are known to have the best technical and managerial talent in the country. Men and women who are always ready to take on the different challenging assignments that they encounter with dedication and passion. Sales engineers in disciplines like mechanical, electrical, metallurgical, chemical, electronics, computer, IT, mining, etc. redefine steel making each day. The limits of technical knowledge and acumen of new recruits are tested time and again. Needless to say that the talent at SAIL always shines through. Every unit in SAIL is like a huge factory in itself. With captive power plants, foundries and huge shops, the giant scale of which is totally unimaginable. Many do not know that SAIL is also the largest iron ore miner among steel producing companies operating mining units spread across mineral-rich states of the country. Many would not even know that the quantity of the various byproducts generated at SAIL plants is so humongous that they are used as input materials in different chemical and fertilizer industries. The enterprise resource management projects such as SAP have been implemented in the company across its units, which has modernized and revolutionized the company's operations. These and similar systemic improvements are slowly leading us to the vision of Industry 4.0. SAIL handles what could be a logistics nightmare for others with effortless ease. Right from getting coal from Australia to supplying steel products to almost every district of the country. SAIL does this with smile and the contentment of contributing to the nation's growth. Steel Authority of India Limited. There is a little bit of SAIL in everybody's life.
Welcome back. It is the national final and it needs some spirited performance here. Should the runaway performances of Jaikantan from TCS at 57 for now and Sampad Mishra from SAIL Rourkela at 40 points, who are both flying away with Udaan, should their flight be kept in line of sight? They're not holding back, and why should they? They know seeds of failure are almost always sown in periods of sustained success, so they'll keep the tempo up till the very end. But the others, currently forming a couple of pelotons chasing the runway riders. We have Rohan at 22, Rajarshi at 20, and Ayush at 15, all three of them bunched together. And then some distance away, bunched together, are Ashish at -3, Rabi and Rahul, both of them at -5 points apiece. To all of you, I don't have much to say, except a tidy maxim. As goes January, so goes the rest of the year. The culmination of Udaan in our final round, when you go hard, and there will be opportunities aplenty to do so. This one's the final one, and it's called Triple Trouble. There are going to be 7 questions, all on the buzzer. In this round, you have to listen to me very, very carefully because you won't see the entire question on screen. In the first 4 questions, you will have to listen to me carefully. I'll give the operative part on screen, but that won't have enough to work with, or maybe it does, who knows? If you think you know the answer, hit the buzzer, but don't answer immediately. First, tell me whether you're stepping up or stepping down. If you step up, you're answering for 20 points. But if you're stepping down, you're answering for 5 points. If you forget to say either of the 2 things, or if you say default, you by default play default. That's the meaning of default. That's for 10 points. But if you're wrong, in the case of step up, it's a -10. In the case of step down, it's a -2. And in the case of default, it's a -5. In the first 4 questions, there won't be any visuals. You'll have to listen to me very carefully. And in the final 3 questions, you'll see some visuals to go with the questions. All right. Here's question number 1. All 8 of you are more than welcome to hit the buzzer within time. And if I don't have the right answer from anyone before you, I will come to you and then you can, decide to step up, step down, whatever you like. Here's question number 1. In June 2023, Burgundy Private and Hurun India released a 6-month update of India's most valuable private companies. From its last report, all but one of the top 5 lost their value, with Byju's at number 3 losing 62% of its value. At number 1 was Serum Institute at lost minus 12%. At number 4, Dream11 minus 0.6%. At number 5, Razorpay minus 0.6%. Which IPO-bound entity since 2016 made an 18% jump to be number 2 with a 1.65 lakh crore valuation? They've been wanting to go into IPO since 2016. Finally, we have Ashish, who's on the buzzer. Yes, Ashish, stepping up, stepping down.
I'll step up. I'll say
Step
Ola.
up. Your answer is?
Ola Electric, Ola.
All right, that's incorrect. That's a minus 10, Ashish. I'll move on to the next one. That's Ravi.
I'll say in normal. So
All right.
This is Swiggy.
Is incorrect. Swiggy is number 6, by the way, in the list. I'll move on to Rohan.
I'll step down.
Stepping down.
Tata Technologies.
Tata Technologies, that's incorrect. All 3 of you giving me wrong answers there. So it's a minus 10 in descending order. So that's a minus 10 Ashish, minus 5 Ravi, and a minus 2 Rohan. The answer that I was looking for, number 2 in the list of India's most valuable private companies, is the National Stock Exchange. Trying to get into IPO since 2016. Every time there's some problem or the other, and perhaps this time. So that they're number 2. Swiggy is what Ravi answered. That's number 6 on the list, as I said. And Ashish, what was your answer? I forgot. Wasn't in the list. Ola, right? So wasn't in the list. All right. So minus 10 Ashish, minus 5 Ravi, minus 2 Rohan. We'll move on to question number 2. After their initial few flights, the Wright brothers made no substantial contribution to aviation after 1908. Instead, they spent their time protecting their patents and going after anyone who wanted to fly, including in Europe, which had a strong state support. One fellow cyclist and aviator who suffered their wrath was Alexander Graham Bell, backed Glenn Curtis, who would build prototypes faster than the Wrights could sue. While Wilbur died early, Oliver lived long enough to see Wright Aeronautical be taken over by which company in 1929? I'll repeat the key parts. They didn't contribute much after 1908. Rajarshi is already going for it. Go for it, Rajarshi.
I'll step down. I'll step
Yes.
down.
Stepping down.
I'll say Western Electric.
Is incorrect. That's a minus 2. I move on to Ravi.
I have nothing to lose. I will answer in the face value. I will say Douglas McConnell.
Is incorrect also. If those were the answers, then why would I say ironically? So that's a minus 2 Rajarshi, a minus 5 Ravi. I said, there was one fellow cyclist and aviator who suffered their wrath. It was Alexander Graham Bell, backed Glenn Curtis, who would build prototypes faster than the Wrights could sue. Then Wilbur died, but Oliver lived long enough to see their company being sold to whom? This is Curtis Aeroplane and Motor Company. So the one they fought with eventually sold to them. So which is why, ironically, was the reason why I said that word, so that you could work it out and not really think in the direction of anything else. And in fact, now if you look at the visual on the right, that's a caravan by Curtis. So it was a caravan that featured earlier in the quiz, makes a comeback. So this is Curtis Aeroplane and Motor Company is what I was looking for. Minus 2 Rajarshi, minus 5 to Ravi. We'll move on to question number 3. After his retirement, he served on the board of 14 companies, being a chairman in 6 of them. On the buzzer is Ashish. Yes, Ashish.
Step up and say Sam Manekshaw.
Step up and say Sam Manekshaw. I'll complete my question. He was a director with the Escorts Group when Lord Paul was trying to take over, resulting in considerable government interference. And government subsequently changed the entire board because of the reluctance with the deal. Who is this person? The subject of a film released last month starring Vicky Kaushal. Ashish says, step up, Sam Manekshaw. That is indeed correct. That's very well done. Ashish gets you a plus 20 as a result. That's very good coming back into the game after a bunch of negatives. Now we move on to question number 4. At the forefront of Go First NCLAT problems are the aircraft leasing companies from X, the global leader in aircraft leasing and financing. On the buzzer is Ravi. Stepping up, stepping down.
Again on the face value.
Okay.
I'll say this is Pratt Whitney.
All right. That wasn't the question. That's a -5. Question goes to Rajarshi.
Yeah, I will step up. I will
Step
up and say this is France because it's Airbus industry.
Is incorrect. That's a -10. I'll continue the question. The origin lies in a now defunct company founded by the founder of Europe's largest airline. So skewed is the influence of the industry in the calculation that the economist suggested a GNI star that accounted for the distortions caused by this industry. Which country am I speaking of? Aircraft leasing companies from which country? So distortionary is the impact of the aircraft leasing industry in the country's GDP and GNI calculation that there is a suggestion to include GNI star. Which country? There's nobody else trying. The answer that I was looking at, I really regret missing this, is a country with significant aviation history, giving us the world of duty free as well, apart from being a tax haven, is Ireland. Right, so this is Ireland is what I was looking for. The company in question, with its aviation history from Ireland, was founded by Tony Ryan of Ryanair, which is the Europe's largest airline. He founded Guineas Fleet Aviation. That doesn't exist anymore. It's defunct. But of course, the legacy stays on. There are many aircraft leasing companies which are based out of, or at least registered in Ireland. So this is Ireland is what I was looking for. -5, Ravi. Your answer had to be a country, and you said Pratt and Whitney. That was at least highlighted in the part you saw in the on the slide. So -5, Ravi, and Rajarshi, since you stepped up and you got it wrong, get a -10. Now, if that makes your life any easier, in the final 3 questions of the national final, I will be giving you some visuals. Hopefully, they'll make it somewhat easier. Here's question number 5. Envisioning a world of 3 zeros: 0 poverty, 0 unemployment, and 0 carbon emissions. On the buzzer is Rohan. Rohan, stepping up, stepping down.
I'll step up.
Step up.
Yeah, this is Mohammed Yunus of Grameen Bank.
You'll say Mohammed Yunus of Grameen Bank. I'll complete my question. The world of 3 zeros: 0 poverty, 0 unemployment, and 0 carbon emissions. This social business focused fund was formed in partnership with Netherlands Enterprise Agency, by which Nobel laureate, currently jailed for violation of labor laws. Rohan, says Mohammed Yunus of Grameen Bank. That is indeed correct. That's well done. And the fact that you stepped up means, Rohan, you get a +20. That's well done. Very good. Okay, 2 questions remain. Here is question number 6. Opened in 2023, the world's largest office building is the Surat Diamond Bourse, which has 9 recreational and green spaces. On the buzzer is Ravi. Ravi, step up, step down.
Again on the face value. I will say these are diamond rings.
Is incorrect. I'll complete. All right, I'll move on to Sampad. Sampad, stepping up, stepping down. You're muted, Sampad.
Yeah, I will step up.
And say?
Panchatattva.
I'll complete my question. There's nobody else after you. It has 9 recreational and green spaces in between the 9 buildings that attempt to minimize the environmental impact by adhering to the elements of nature called Akash, Vayu, Tejas, Apas, and Prithvi, collectively called by what name? Sampad says step up, and he says Panchtattva. Sampad, that is correct. That's well done. Absolutely, at a very opportune time for him. Gets a +20, a very valuable stepped up answer there by him, getting a full 20 for it. That's very well done. All the drama, of all the fabulous answers, of all the magic moments in the 13th Udaan Business Leadership Quiz, it comes down to this. And in this moment, which way is it heading? Your guess is as good as mine. Here is the final question. But before before I ask the final question, please note there are two answers for this question. All right. It's going to be a list. I'm looking for what is number one, what two elements are, what two items, elements, names, whatever, are number one in the list. I'll show you what are number two, what are number three, what are number four, and that will be exhaustive. Okay. And those are a lot to, I mean, there are lots of number twos, lots of number threes, lots of number fours. And so I tried to fit them all in. And so you'll see a lot of visuals. But if if you want, I can read out what's number 5 in the list. I could have included that too, but there was really no space on the slides, and I didn't want to do squint and couldn't really understand what was happening. So I thought that okay, fine, 2, 3, 4 is good enough. Number 5, I'll verbally announce. Right? I've segregated the 2s and the 3s and the 4s in RGB. So the 2s are in red, the 3s are in green, the 4s are in blue. Just because there was not enough space and they were asymmetric in numbers, so I just have fitted them in somehow. All right, 2 answers. You give me 1 answer right, 1 answer wrong, that's still a wrong answer. Okay, I need both answers if you're trying. Here's the final question of the 13th Udaan Business Leadership Quiz on your screen now. In this list, what 2 would be at number 1? I'll tell you what's at number 5. With 125, it's Jawaharlal Nehru 2014, B.R. Ambedkar and S. Radhakrishnan in 2015, and National Archives of India in 2016. Those are at number 5, but 2, 3, and 4, you can see 2 is 500, 3 is 200, 4 is 150. 15 seconds. Very interesting. 5 seconds. On the buzzer is Rajarshi. Go for it, Rajarshi.
I'm just
stepping up, stepping down.
I'll play at base value. That doesn't
Okay.
impact the outcome. I will say these are commemorative coins. And the first one, I think number 1, which is 1,000 rupees, is the Brihadishwara temple.
Okay.
And these are all commemorative, coins which are released.
That's your complete answer?
That's my complete answer. Yeah.
That's a negative. That's a -5, Rajarshi. I'll move on to the next one. That's Rohan. Stepping up, stepping down, Rohan.
I mean, I'll step up.
Tell me what 2 would be at number 1.
Yeah, I mean, 1 would be Brihadishwara temple. That would be a 1,000 rupee coin. And these are commemorative coins of this denomination that were launched for various anniversaries. And the other would be
too much time, Rohan.
Maybe the Ram temple.
All right. That's incorrect. That's a -10 since you stepped up. And finally, to Jaykant.
Is it possible to give the scores?
Step up, step down. Too late to ask.
All right. I'll step down. I'll say Chanakya or Arthashastra for the first one, and second one is Brihadishwara temple.
All right. That's incorrect. So that's a -2 Jaykantan, -10 Rohan, and a -5 Rajarshi. 3 of you collecting negatives. You got 1 right. And I thought that if you've understood the concept and the reasoning, perhaps you'll get, the both right. But for some reason, 1 was something that all of you the 3 of you who tried at least, were aware of, and the other one you missed out on. The other one, you got the concept right. These are all commemorative coins with the highest denominations: 1,000, 500, 200, 150. 1 you got right was Brihadishwar temple, so I think all 3 of you got that one right. The one that you missed out was the Rath Yatra of Puri. So that was the other one. Those are both the coins that you can see here. Those were the 2 coins which have had the highest denomination for commemorative coins. And that is the final whistle in an engrossing, undulating, entirely absorbing final. What a beautiful set of answers that we got from each of our participants to bring curtains to an exceptional experience of Udaan. We will take a much needed breather now before the math tells us in no uncertain terms who is our champion. Stay tuned. I'll see you on the other side of the break.
SAIL, at the forefront of nation building. Steel Authority of India Limited, an organization that tests your metal at every step, an employer that challenges you each and every day, surprises you each moment and teaches you something in every passing moment. A behemoth with a turnover of more than rupees 1 lakh crore, SAIL is a leader in the Indian steel industry, having a pan-India presence. Projects that had earlier remained unimaginable have been made possible with SAIL Steel, be it steel for the Statue of Unity or the thousands of kilometers of rail tracks connecting the country, the formidable INS Vikrant or the longest bridge in the country, Dola Sadia. We are known to have the best technical and managerial talent in the country. Men and women who are always ready to take on the different challenging assignments that they encounter with dedication and passion. SAIL's engineers in disciplines like mechanical, electrical, metallurgical, chemical, electronics, computer, IT, mining, etc. redefine steel making each day. The limits of technical knowledge and acumen of new recruits are tested time and again. Needless to say that the talent at SAIL always shines through. Every unit in SAIL is like a huge factory in itself, with captive power plants, foundries and huge shops, the giant scale of which is totally unimaginable. Many do not know that SAIL is also the largest iron ore miner among steel producing companies operating mining units spread across mineral-rich states of the country. Many would not even know that the quantity of the various byproducts generated at SAIL plants is so humongous that they are used as input materials in different chemical and fertilizer industries. The enterprise resource management projects such as SAP have been implemented in the company across its units, which has modernized and revolutionized the company's operations. These and similar systemic improvements are slowly leading us to the vision of Industry 4.0. SAIL handles what could be a logistics nightmare for others with effortless ease, right from getting coal from Australia to supplying steel products to almost every district of the country. SAIL does this with smile and the contentment of contributing to the nation's growth. Steel Authority of India Limited. There is a little bit of SAIL in everybody's life.
Welcome back to what has been a delightful past hour. But before we declare our final scores, we have amidst us the nucleus of Udaan 2023 in all its years, not just this year. I'd like to invite on stage Shri Sanjay Dar, CGM, HRD, MTI. Sir, please.
Thank you, Ajay. I hope I am audible and visible. Thanks a lot. And I hope it's not too late for me to wish everybody here and all the people involved in this event a very happy new year. It's only a week old. So once again, wish you all a great year ahead. It feels good to share with you the journey of Udaan while they do the maths, as I said. It's a flagship event for Management Training Institute Ranchi in association with NHRD and Ranchi chapter. And the event is in its 13th year now. So it feels good to nurture something for 13 long years. And it's now one of the most coveted corporate quizzing events in our country, which celebrates knowledge, celebrates the spirit of healthy competition, celebrates the excitement of the high pace of quizzing. We are growing year on year. This year also we had 238 people participating from various organizations, IOCL, BPSCL, RINL, SBI, TCS, E&Y, HDFC, so many. And in a large part by SAIL. For us, we have a more fonder association with Udaan because we have nurtured it not only in terms of organizing it, but also in terms of ensuring that we participate wholeheartedly. I mean, we are still the biggest chunk of people participating in this quiz, but all are welcome, and we have an equal number of people from other organizations joining us. We had some interesting the prelims organized, and then we had the semi-finals, which were held on in December. So December was a very busy month for quizzing, and quizzing. I have a personal conviction is a very powerful and engaging platform for learning, for developing yourself, and when you develop a culture of quizzing, you actually grow as professionals also in different functions, learn about business environment, learn about different topics, uh, and learn to connect things, learn to find interest in things. That's the beautiful part. It's good to see all the finalists. They are all okay, tongue-in-cheek, known devils. Whether it's Sampad or Ravi or it is Ashish or it's Rajeshri or Rohan, Rahul, they're all well-known names in the quizzing circles, well-known names to me also. But I'd like to congratulate them not only for their participation and their reaching the finals, but also for being mentors and nurturing the quizzing culture in their respective organizations also. I know we have been organizing a lot of local level events also, so that the quizzing culture grows. It's been a labor of love for all of us involved in shaping this quiz and in its evolution. Again, as I said, Ajay has been a part of this journey throughout, and I'm sure he shares my joy with the kind of growth that this quiz has seen and how it has grown into us. It's seeped into us. I mean, it's not an annual event; it's an annual pilgrimage for us. I'd like to once again, share my joy with my team, Team MTI, who have been seeing to it that the quiz goes from place to place. Congrats, Rizwan, and let's share our debt of gratitude to Srimat, who started it all with his passion. I'd again like people to remember that great festivals need some triggers, and the NHRDN team, again led by Dhananjay, has done some fantastic work in terms of working out this quiz and ensuring that it really gets expanded into a pan-India event. Thank you once again, Dhananjay and team NHRD. And I'd like to congratulate all the national finalists. On any given day, it's okay. What clicks for you? It goes up, it goes down, and that's how it works out. But at the end of the day, you made it to the finals, you fought it out, you've given others sleepless moments, you've given others frights. That is the fun of quizzing. I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best for today. And I wish a great future for Udaan and quizzing in India. And thank you all for having me here. So
Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much for your delightful appreciation and, of course, doing all that you do to make Udaan possible year after year. Right, so now we're all set with the final results and declaration of who our winners are. Firstly, in second place, he was a winner in 2019. He was a winner again in 2021. He would have almost been a winner again for this year, but unfortunately, because there was somebody else waiting in the wings right behind him, just marched ahead to the finishing tape just before the very end, which means he has to descend one spot and step down and be first runner-up at the national final, which isn't a small achievement by any measure. Congratulations, Jaikantan from TCS. You are our first runner-up for the 13th Udaan Business Leadership Quiz. Congratulations. And of course, ending a dry spell that goes back to the offline era of the Udaan Business Leadership Quiz. The last time he managed to take the top spot off the podium was way back in 2017. So it was a 6-year-long marathon waiting, which finished like a perfect marathon run, keep running second throughout, and just in the final stretch, sprint to the finish. Was there a quiz more utterly ideal, more utopian, more ultimate in the recent life of our winner? We would never know. But what we do know, he had a high tempo start in the driver's seat in the middle, and then a late rise to the title. Our winner back again on the top spot of the podium after being there in 2017, coming from Sale Rourkela, is Sampath Mishra. Well, congratulations, Sampath Mishra from Sale Rourkela, and also congratulations to Jaikantan R from TCS. You are our national champions and our first runner-up at this quiz. So that's a wrap for this season then. Well done to the remaining national finalists as well. I hope this quiz brought a bit of joy, apart from, of course, all the prizes that you happened to win and all the knowledge that you accumulated in the process of preparing for this quiz, and eventually also giving those fine answers that you gave right from the prelims to the zonals, and of course today in the final as well. This was the 13th Udaan Business Leadership Quiz organized by Steel Authority of India Limited, National HRD Network Ranchi Chapter, and National HRD Network. The national final was the appetizer, the main course, and the dessert, a full meal that we can now relish for a year-long food coma. It was everything that we expected, was everything we hoped from the finest cast of business quizzing in India. A big thank you to everyone to make this event bring a bit of joy in everyone's life, to the organizers, the sponsors, the participants, and of course, you, the viewers, both live and into the future. I hope these quizzes were a cause of happiness in your life until next season. For this one is done and dusted. Goodbye and see you next season.